Hey y'all, welcome back to another episode of Introspective Thoughts. Ooh, child. Hopefully when y'all see this, the world ain't ended yet. Cause it's a lot of shit that has gone on. Again, previously recorded. This is still the week of, or the week before we have a regime change in this country. And my God Almighty, today, gosh, I'm gonna just put it like this. Make sure y'all take some time before we get into anything. Take some time to decompress and get the hell off of social media. Like for real, for real. I literally just logged out of Twitter today and logged out of Instagram and deleted Snapchat. Snapchat sent me an email. It was like, "Hey, are you sure that you want to deactivate your account?" And I'm like, "Yeah, girl, told you this last month. Get it out of here. I don't need it anymore. I don't use it. Like, let's get this out of here." But for real, take some time to decompress because all of this is stressful for no reason. And nobody needs that. If we're going into a brand new calendar year, and I need us all to be on one accord as far as like taking care of ourselves and things like that, which is kind of the basic premise of today's episode, right? A couple weeks ago, we had Jalen DeLance on here giving out his fitness tips and wellness tips, and I hope y'all went and got a workout plan for him. If you are in the Houston area, I hope you are at the boot camp, getting your life together, because y'all keep talking about I'm gonna, work out and I'm gonna, take care of myself this year. No, good and goddamn well you lying. You gonna hold up this until about spring break, and then you can be like, so that was a great run. It was a great try. Here we are. Now we doing better this year. We actually have to put forth the work this time. Okay, cool. So with that being the case, I forgot my whole little tagline. We back, with another episode. Four flats on a Cadillac. Back like the passenger seat with your nigga laying in it, on the passenger side with your best friend's ride as he tries to holler at you. Shout out to TSC. But we back with another episode, and today we're going to talk about wellness. We're going to talk about some yoga. We're going to talk about some different forms of wellness. And who better than to have a conversation with than a yoga teacher, a wellness enthusiast, anything. What did you say you consider yourself as? Let me read this exact bio as he says. He helps people develop wellness routines that are optimized for their lifestyle. And so with that being the case, welcome Ed Matthews to the show. Let's give him a round of applause as he comes up in here. What's good, man? Woo! So what's good, man? Tell the people about yourself, what you do, and and we're gonna get into this conversation, talk about wellness.
Yeah. My name is Ed. I'm from North Carolina originally. I'm living in the Baltimore area now, and my passion for wellness started in 2014 from seeing what was happening to my family down south, especially like how they were eating, and how it was happening, of course, nationwide to other, especially brown and black people. And during that time was also during the Mike Brown situation and shooting. And during that time, it really showed me how different the media was broadcasting and playing stuff than actually was happening. So, started doing a lot of research, started doing a lot of deep diving, and eventually just came that I was like, wow, I got to actually start studying some other stuff. So Christianity was kind of the, first thing I, had to look at right there. So a lot of tough battles like that, led me to where I'm at, and just, a lot of tough questions. But yeah, wellness is my thing, because I found that yoga and meditation have helped develop me into a better person as far as physically. My body is, in better shape than it was when I was 21, just because I was a little bit, even bigger. But a lot of information mentally, I can slow my thoughts down a lot more. I can focus. I have clearer speech. So I used to stutter a lot, but now I, don't really stutter as much unless I get really, really excited, which I might get excited today. It's regular. But that, and then, spiritually, just really, really finding myself and being able to grow and be the fullest version of who I see on the inside. So, yeah.
I like that. And it's dope that you can, find connections between your practices and like, how you respond to things. I guess that's the word I want to say, because you brought up the idea of having a stutter, and you brought up the idea of, you know, having a lot of energy, right? And I think with the times that we live in a very highly energetically charged, you know, time-space continuum at this point. If 2020 didn't shake you up at any point in time, and I'm just talking about in general for the people, if it didn't shake you up, you gonna get shook this year. That's a guarantee. Like I'm just saying, you gonna get. You know how your mama be in church, sit down. It's come knocking on your door very, very soon. Just wait on it. But it's dope that you were able to find something that works for you, because I know a lot of people would be quick to run to, like, you know, they'll be quick to run to the church, or they would be quick to run to the doctor and get somebody's, you know, pharmaceutical, or they'll be quick to run to their choice of vice, you know, or whatever that may looks like, you know, or in some people, they just rather sit in it and not do anything about it at all. But it's dope that you were able to find that kind of connection, and, you know, and we're able to make something or find something that's actually very practical and very useful for yourself, you know, and then now you're teaching it to other people. But I want to go back though. You said back in the day when things were cool. You from the good old South, the North Carolina portion of the South, and I'm from the lovely city of Memphis, because fuck the state of Tennessee. Y'all know this already. We're not even gonna get into that. But you brought up like how your family's eating habits and stuff like that was kind of like the what was the jump start. But like, what about it was that jumpstart for you? Because I know those people that are from the South or have ever been to the South, we know that a lot of our diet culture is based off of slavery. It's based off of, you know, eating a lot of comfort food, is a lot of eating a lot of sugar, is eating a lot of salt and stuff like that. But what specifically about it that you saw with your family that made you jump into this?
Well, so the jumpstart was more of an emotional thing. The jumpstart was actually in 2013 that just like kind of made this. Well, no, it was at the end of 2000. Yeah, at the end of 2013 was that me and this girl that I was really in love with and everything. We broke up, we split up, and it was just a bad type of situation and breakup. And at that time, that's what I kind of mentioned that at that time I was looking for some like peace and solace and inside of religion, but that just wasn't talking to me. So the jump start that made me switch everything was that. And the first thing that really led into was meditation. So meditation came first. And then so what I did on my journey, I really went inwards first, and I started seeing what was inside of me, seeing what thoughts I was having, seeing what type of lifestyle I was living inside my head versus what was going on the outside. So once I started questioning that and I started optimizing myself and my body, I was able to see that around me within a few months. So at that point, once I actually again realized that how big everything got and how I noticed the system got bigger and bigger, that's when I saw, you know, how it was really affecting Black and brown people and our families are in the South, and how our, you know, diet of what we consume in the media and physically is affecting us. So that's kind of where my practice is gearing towards the at first acknowledgement of course, where a person is at, you know, having the proper information of that and having accountability, because accountability is the key part in, you know, changing your life and being able to change that constant cycle that you may be stuck in.
No, that's dope. Wow. And it makes me even think about my own kind of transition into doing yoga, because I definitely have my own yoga practices. And I don't even remember what got me into yoga or what got me into meditation, but I know at one point in time, kind of similar to your story, minus the, you know, men in a relationship and breakup piece, because I don't like people enough to be in a relationship. I can't do it. That's just me and my household. We I can't say single as a Pringle, because Pringles come in a can of 100, so that's not even a thing. But whatever. But I remember being in undergrad and being severely depressed, and I mean like severely depressed, to the point that there was days where I would just be like, I'm just going to stay in this bed under this blanket with these lights off, with these these window blinds drawn, and not want to do anything. But I didn't recognize, like, you know, what the cause of it was. There was, like you said, you have that accountability to change your life. Like that piece didn't even come tap on my door until like 3-4 years later. of like, I need to actually start taking account of like, why do I feel this way, or why am I responding in this manner, you know? But I know I had a lot of anger built up, you know, towards a lot of different people, a lot of different places. I was just coming into my quote unquote awakening and becoming conscious and recognizing that this country ain't shit, you know, and a lot of things that we've learned ain't shit. And this is coming from somebody who is preparing to be a teacher. And it's like, so there's the existential dread, like, okay, so how do I teach people and not teach them this shit at the same time? Like, how do I not get kids to be or to take in the same information? Like, how do I change the narrative or change or shift the paradigm for them? Because they're going to be the ones that's really going to set this thing off, you know, once we get to that point. And so it's interesting that you brought that up, because I don't think a lot of people take that time to step back and be like, oh, so that's what this is. Or, you know, take the time to acknowledge, like you said, you know, that being the first step, acknowledging like what's going on within them to be able to make those, you know, changes. So then now my next question is like, but because you said you were trying to find the solace in religion and didn't find the solace in that. Was meditation your first thing that you went to, or was it like a gradual process to get to that? Because I think a lot of people just think like, I'm just gonna go try something and hope it sticks, and then when it doesn't work, it's like, well, that doesn't work, so I can't use that anymore. Like, so what was your process to even get to the point of meditation?
So there's this audio by, I forgot his first name, Earl Nightingale. It's called The Strangest Secret. And my mentor, when I was working at a life insurance company in 2014, January, February, had put me on that. And that just talked about how the mind is a fertile garden. And being a fertile garden, if you plant roses, then it's going to grow roses abundantly, plentifully. And if you plant nightshade, then it's going to do the same thing, and it's going to grow nightshade abundantly, which is a poisonous plant. So, I mean, really from there, I'm not sure the exact steps that took me there next, but maybe like a month or so later, I would say, because that whole summer, I was inside my 1-bedroom apartment in Greensboro with the windows open and the heat, just like the air flowing through the house, and sage and candles and crystals, and meditating and changing my whole diet up. So yeah, I mean, meditation was definitely one of the first things, just learning that, and being able to sit with myself and view my thoughts as they come, and of course be able to adjust how I respond and react to life. So meditation, I think, is probably one of the best ways to really, really get to know yourself, because we're used to moving around a lot physically, and that moving around physically translates to how we move around mentally. So if we, as within, so as without, so within, as within, so without, same. So, you know, we just sit down physically, the more and more. And that's the thing. I mean, even if you can't do it your first time, I mean, it's a practice, right? It takes time. It's a whole subconscious rewire. This whole subconscious rewiring is the issue, is the thing, because your subconscious is on repeat. Your subconscious just plays out what you feed it. So, you know, right now, a lot of people are stuck in certain cycles that, you know, that they don't realize they're frustrated in. But the sooner they just own that frustration, and again, you know, acknowledge they're frustrated, and then acknowledge that you want to be different from that. And that comes with accountability, that, you know, you've been causing much of your frustration because of the decisions that you make in the present moment. And a lot of those things can lead back to, if you meditate, then you can learn to breathe better. So when you're breathing in the present moment, again, scientifically, your breath is going to send oxygen to the head. So when your head has more oxygen, then you're thinking clearer, so you can make better decisions in the moment. So it's all
That
linked.
makes a lot of sense. And so like, and I think a lot of people have this, what stops a lot of people from like getting into meditation, they feel like that it has to be look a certain way, right? And they think like, oh, I have to, you know, have, you know, these binaural beats playing in the background. I have to have 4,000 crystals sitting in front of me. I have to have incense burning. I have to have the lights off. I have to have, you know, you have to have your cup of tea. You have to have water or something near you. You have to have all these different things. But like, what, like, for somebody that doesn't know what meditation looks like what is a basic practice that somebody could do to kind of incorporate meditation into their daily lives? Because I know a lot of people can sit down for an hour and meditate. Me, I can't do that. Like, I've tried, and I can only try if I'm on, on my favorite rocket ship zooming through the sky. So like, what would like a basic practice of meditation look like for anybody that's like, that has tried and it's like, nope, this doesn't work, or somebody that wants to try and has never done it before?
Yeah, that's a good question. I would say the best thing for anybody that needs to just start even a 5 or 10-minute practice would be focusing on the breath. So the breath focus is a large thing. Is a large thing that many institutions leave out in their practice and in their instruction. But focusing on the breath may be the one thing that will save people from their thoughts, because especially when it's quiet and there's no music going on, then people find it hard to focus whether the eyes are closed or not, and they're going to keep getting lost in their thoughts. But again, if you science, so also, so let me just, again, the overview is important though. So the sympathetic nervous system is what runs the fight or flight reflex, and again, the fight or flight reflex is activated by a short breath, because again, adrenaline's pumping, our heart's beating faster. So as far as breath goes, when we keep breathing into the chest, that's sending the signal to the subconscious to stay in that sympathetic nervous system. So we're always going to be in fight or flight. That's why our shoulders are tight. That's why relax your shoulders like you just did. So you gotta put your chest down and everything. So yeah, it's a mode that we're stuck in. So what happens is that again, if you just focus on the breath, is that again, it's with practice. It's not gonna happen the first time, but as your subconscious begins to get soothed and rubbed and relaxed by the breath that's coming into the brain, now the new flow of that is going to respond differently. Because again, that's the thing, is that our mind is responding to us, because we are in control of everything. We're the observer. Like, that's one of the principles, I think, and again, with practice, but with if you learn the 2 principles of just, you're the observer, and realizing that all your thoughts are just a thing, all of the emotions that you see is a thing, anything you experience in meditation is just a thing that you see, a thing you experience. So that's why, again, over time, if you just choose to focus on the breath, something that's much more steady, that allows you to end up like in a place of nirvana, because after a while, you're gonna stop having to. After a while, you're not gonna focus on anything, because you're gonna be focused on the breath so long that so with that, those 2 combined, is that the practice that you want to do is that sit down and just try for 5 minutes at a time, just focusing on your breath, and take large inhales, take large breaths. I mean, of course, follow my channels for all of that. But even that, just look up the breath. So even this, just look up a breath exercise somewhere. Look up a breath exercise and take one of my favorite though exercises that everybody can try is, it's an inhale of 4 seconds. You hold your breath for 4 seconds at the top. You exhale out slowly for 4 seconds, and you hold that again for 4 seconds. Then you inhale again. So you're creating like this base, this pyramid you want to build. You can visualize that, but just focusing on your breath and focusing on counting those 4 seconds in your head. That will occupy more of your thought space than the thoughts. And again, the thoughts will still be there, but I can promise you, essentially, if you practice that exercise, your thoughts will get quieter, because again, the thoughts are just in the system, are in the cycle that we're stuck in. So we have to, and one of the largest things too is that all the thoughts have a root to them, right? Like, all the thoughts that we have a certain root, and you'll realize that all the thoughts pretty much only stem from like 3 different things. Whether it's some type of insecurity, whether it's fear, whether it's sadness, whether it's something you're running from, like they're all stemming from the same place. So again, with meditation, why it's a lifelong thing, and why I definitely encourage meditation with other holistic wellness techniques, such as yoga, such as massage, Thai massage, acupuncture, Reiki, reflexology, so therapy. Like, those all come together, because what's going to happen is that the quieter the quieter you get, the deeper you're going to get. And the deeper you get, the deeper you'll get to those parts that you've been hiding for a purpose, you know, because you were scared to face them, because it's uncomfortable, because it just brings up stuff you don't want to deal with. So I will say meditation is, I mean, I can't sugarcoat it. Meditation is only for you if you want to heal. But there's methods for, but there's things and ways out here for you to heal. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, if once you commit to the healing path, I mean, you should have already felt some type of uncomfort or pain in your life. So it's really, do you want to keep experiencing that, or do you want to like uncover that in peace? Like you can't. And again, all you can get rid of it is acknowledging that it's there. So yeah, meditation definitely, you know, frees you. And even at the same time as you're uncovering that, you're not having to like deal with it, or shall I say, like think about it incessantly every day, because that's again where you're being detached from all these things you need to get done, and just being present in the moment, like just being detached and be like, all right, well, and that involves for people like me who have, you know, a fast moving mind, writing it down. If I don't write it down, I'm not going to have any type of roadmap. So that's what causes anxiety, you know. So even with that, when you're meditating, bring a journal. You know, if you say I can't remember this, like, bring a journal and even come out of meditation, whether your eyes are open, whether your eyes are closed, you know, just come out of meditation. And meditation is just you sitting there and just focus on the breath, come out and say, this thought came up. And what's going to happen is that, again, if you commit yourself to that, after 5 or 7 times, the same thought will have come up probably every time, or the same type of thought. Maybe it's like a little different wording, but the same thought will have come up. So that can really, like, writing and journaling can really help you organize your thoughts. So even that's the thing I was talking about. I was telling this to my meditation group I have going on right now. The mind, like the physical head, is finite, because this physical head is finite. So when you're trying to fit, so about to break it down real quick, right? So look.
Take your time, Pastor. You got it. Take your time.
Because the physical mind is finite, and we know that thoughts are metaphysical, which means they have some type of physical aspect. They have energy to it, right? They have some type of weight. If it has energy, it has weight. So we're trying to keep all those thoughts, all that weight, in this finite space, and we know that weight takes up space. So the better thing to do, the best thing that you can do for yourself is, honestly, I'm gonna still stick with the pen and paper, but if not that, record yourself though. You have to be able to get these thoughts out and be able to process them better, because a lot of times people with meditation, they try to process everything in their head without, again, putting it out on paper, putting a plan to it. Like, most people can't just put a plan in their head for something that they're going to do, like with this type of work, and just make it happen. So it's important to put a plan for it, who you're going to need to seek out, how you're going to do it, what accountability, like what do you want to see? You know, if you're a mean, if you have anger issues, right? If you're a mean person, like if you're rude or whatever, and you now have acknowledged that and you want to change, like, how do you want to see people react to you? How do you want to see people start to treat you? How do you want to see people interact with you when you're together? Are people inviting you out more? Okay, it's one. Okay, that's one extra per month. I mean, so again, writing it down is how you can help yourself take accountability, and how you keep working towards it. So I know, just to make sure, because I know I'm circle back though. So for everybody listening, I'm circle back to the original question he asked, though, like, what can you do? Literally, the only 2 things you need to do is start your meditation practice, is find somewhere comfortable to sit, either cross-legged or in a chair. And during that time, I would suggest you probably have some water beforehand, just to loosen up everything. Have some water. Just set a timer on your phone for 5 minutes. Put it down, and just start focusing on your breathing. Do that exercise I said. Inhale for 4 seconds. Hold the breath for 4 seconds. Exhale for 4 seconds. And then inhale again and hold, and then do it again. So inhale, hold, exhale, hold. 4 seconds all the way around. And bring a journal with a pen and paper near you. And any thoughts that come up, anything happy or uncomfortable, write it down. And do that every day. Do just those 5 minutes every day for 7 weeks, and you'll see a change. And you'll probably want to be meditating more. You want to sit more and more, longer and longer. Simple as that.
Wow. I mean, and you broke that down flawlessly. Like, because I'm even thinking about like my own meditation practices. Because, like I said, I know for a fact, like me sitting down for an hour, just physically, I know my body is not going to allow me to do that. Because my feet will start going to sleep, and then my ankles start going to sleep, and then it just go up the body, and I'm like, okay, now I'm uncomfortable. And then I know if I lay down and meditate, oh, that's a wrap. I'm going to sleep. Like that's instant. We're taking a nap. That's just what how that's gonna turn into. But it makes me think of my own meditative practices. And I also want to get to that kind of the second to last portion you were saying about taking accountability too. But when I think of my own meditative practices, I don't just sit in one spot and meditate. Like my meditation practices may be sitting down and just breathing. Then the next day, it may be just sitting down with a cup of tea and I'm just breathing, right? Even today, like my meditative practices was me sitting in a tub full of hot water, and just breathing with all the lights out. Cause I'm like, I just need to chill. Like I need to relax because there's too much going on around me. It's too much energy around me. It's just too much. And I need to separate myself or detach from that just so I can get back to self. Because even what you were saying, like getting your journal and writing down, I realized today I haven't written in my journal in about, when was the last time I wrote in my journal? On the 6th. And I'm like, I know me, I don't necessarily like writing in my journal every day because I'm like, I don't want to say I only write in there when there's bad things, but I only write in there when I know I just need to sit and process stuff. Like if it's one of those, like, oh, this was some wild shit that just happened. Let me get to writing that down. Because not only does it allow me to work through that, but it also serves as an archive because I use my journal as a grimoire. I plan on creating a stack of those. And so whomever that comes behind me, if I ever decide to have kids, and if I don't, I leave it for my younger brother or I leave it for my nieces and nephews. So it's like, you can read through this and I guarantee you there's going to be practical information because nothing under the sun is new. We all know and recognize that. And so whatever you find in there, utilize it. It could definitely be of a benefit for you. But I know I found myself, meditating in so many different ways. I will have the music playing in the background, or I know a lot of my meditation it comes through the form of yoga, or it comes through the form of working out. I remember people used to look at me crazy when I would tell them I used to go to the gym at 3 o'clock in the morning, and they're like, "Excuse me," and I'm like, yeah, because I that's my time to breathe. That's my time to think. That's my time to meditate. On top of that, again, I just told you I don't like people that much. And it's not even so much as like I hate people, but it's like because I'm a highly sensitive person, I feel everybody's energy. And because I feel everybody's energy, I'm like, I gotta separate myself from people. And so 3 o'clock in the morning at the gym, ain't nobody there. It's maybe like one or two people there, and maybe like the person that worked there, and that's about it. But like, I can get in there, I can go and lift some shit, I can throw some stuff around, I can, be mad, I can scream, I can do everything that I need to do. But that's also my time to reflect, and it's my time to think, and it's my time to breathe. Because I mean, I ain't got no choice but to breathe. You don't breathe while you working out, yeah, you will pass out and die. Take that from somebody that did a deadlift and almost didn't make it. But you know, that everything that you just said, like I said earlier, a lot of people think that you just have to just sit, cross-legged and just fight off everything and just sit still. And it's like, no, there's different ways to do so. But I also like the fact that you brought up the exercise, because I want to say on Twitter, I've seen people drop the gifts on there where it's like it has the little breathing exercise where it's like,
yeah, that works. That's
like
right
the little shapes where they like inhale and then they exhale. Yeah, and so I've even found myself when people randomly retweet those, I will literally sit there and stay at that for about 2 minutes, and I'm like, let me just, before I keep scrolling, let me just go along with this real quick, And I've even found myself, doing meditation while listening to music. Because just how you saying, like, getting those thoughts out of your head, I'm one of those people where even though they say, oh, you're crazy for talking to yourself, man, fuck that. I'm talking to myself because I'm the realest nigga that I know. God dwells within me. Why wouldn't I talk to God? And like, what? Come on. Anyway, but I know my neighbors in my apartment, like especially towards the end of 2020, I know they heard me going off about a lot of stuff that was legitimately bothering me. But I know what I didn't do is like I was getting it out, but I never got back to that place of like stillness. It was like, okay, now that you've gotten it out, what's your action steps? Where are we going from this? Because it's one thing to just get it out and complain, but it's another thing to like do something different from there, right? But I also want to go back to the portion where you were saying like taking accountability for your actions and stuff like that, and taking accountability for your thoughts and what you think and what you feel. I'm going back and I'm rereading the Book of Secrets by Deepak Chopra, and that book, I know I'm reading it for a reason, because I normally don't go back and reread books unless they have like a profound meaning. So like The Alchemist, I've read that book no less than 10 times at this point, over the course of like 5 years. And this one, I've like, Spirit just said, get that book because it's going to become necessary. And I'm like, okay, cool. I don't know where we're going with this, but sure. And the chapter that I was just reading was about, you know, taking control or taking advantage of those times in which you feel like, you know, your life is falling apart. But the biggest thing that I took out of that chapter was exactly what you were saying. Like y'all were very aligned in what you were saying. It's like you have to actively do something different in order to see a different outcome. Because if you're consistently doing the same thing, that's the literal definition of insanity. You cannot expect a change or a shift if you do not, if you like, let's say, you know, oh, I want to lose weight. Okay, if you still eating little Hostess cakes and little Debbie cakes, how that's gonna help you? If you're not going running, if you're not lifting weights, if you're not changing your diet, how the hell is that gonna help? Like faith without work is gonna always be dead. It's gonna always be a moot point. It's not, you're not gonna have anything out of that, right? But I don't think a lot of people take that time. They don't put the connection with that. And I think that in itself, I personally think that starts with, you know, being at school where we get a failing grade and it's like, okay, I give up. Instead of like, maybe I should go back and reread this, or maybe I should go back and study this again, or maybe I should go back and revisit this, or maybe I need to go back and get a different understanding about this, because that then will change my foundation, or even, you know, set the proper foundation for me to then move forward, you know. But I actually, I appreciate that difference of perspective when it comes to the practice of meditation, because I think, at least for, you know, those who are trying to get into it, they have a different foundation, or they have a different viewpoint or perspective of what it looks like now, right? And so now I want to kind of segue into yoga, right? Because you said you going back to, you know, you had these, you know, past relationships, broke up and all this other great stuff, right? Why yoga though? Why not just go lift weights? Like, why not, you know, do Pilates? Why not run? Why yoga specifically?
Yeah, I mean, so yoga just came from meditation, and I think at that time, because I was studying, you know, different religions, looking at them and looking at the Buddhism, and then I mean, meditation is kind of like naturally, like as you probably even honestly the internet algorithms probably as I'm doing you know, meditation probably pulls up meditation in India, and then I look up an article, it says, you know, something like that's yoga here. So again, I'm not sure exactly how it transitioned into yoga, but yeah, I do know my first time taking the class was like I was on Groupon, like, all right, let me search out what yoga is, go here, book a class. So from the way that I saw it in the first place, I wasn't looking at it as a purely physical like, you know, body sculpting act, because when I first again read about it, it was something that was spiritual. So for me, I mean, it definitely drew my attention. It was physical at the same time, so that was nice. I saw it was a practice that, you know, the ancients used to practice. So I mean, what I did, I just, you know, signed up for a class, see if I liked it, and it was decent. It was okay. It was like I sat down, and at the end we meditated a little bit. I was like, whoa. I was like, what is going on here? This is a whole different experience right here. So then I think I had like a class after that. Then it was an amazing class, and I was like, whoa, okay. Because the first class was like a slow type of like yin type of class, relaxing flow. Then the next one I had was like a physical one. I was like, oh, okay, this is like a yoga has a whole range. And I'm sweating over here. Then somehow I led to hot yoga. Then I was like, oh, okay, so you can really get a workout here, like doing some Ashtanga yoga, like 1 breath per movement type of stuff, and in a hot room. So yeah, yeah. So
Wait a minute. Well, hold on. We gotta run that back. Hold on. Rewind that. You said a 1 breath per move in a hot room. Excuse me?
yeah, you gotta look. You gotta inhale, exhale, down, inhale again, exhale down to the floor, inhale, up, down, up, down, up, down.
Because
Yeah.
maybe I was picturing this entirely different wrong. Because I know they say don't hold your breath, like just in general, because again, you stopping the flow of oxygen to your body. But I'm like, you talking about taking 1 breath and doing the move. I don't know what I was saying, but I didn't see exactly what you just said because I was like, hold on. And then you said in a hot room, like what is this hot yoga? Is this like doing this in like 90-degree heat or like what is that?
Yeah, it's usually like 98 to 101 degrees in the room.
Ooh,
So
you just lost me that quick. Yep, I won't be doing that. You lost me that quick. Sorry. Y'all can try that, but woo.
it's perfect. If you want to sculpt your body, if you want to detox, if you want to lose weight, you want to get some abs going on, hot Ashtanga yoga is definitely the way to go. Hot yoga of any type is beautiful in a room like that. And so I think hot yoga definitely helped me loosen up my hip. And during loosening my hip up, definitely so I think it was during, I'm not sure if that was 2015, probably at latest 2016, but like when I really like fell deep into it, or 2015 with yoga was I was in hot yoga class and I was in this pigeon pose, and which is involved stretching the hip. My hip took a nice release and just had some emotions come out of there, and I felt them come up. I saw them. I was like, wow, that's crazy. You were just sitting right there the whole time, and then they got released. So I started looking at them, and I was like, well, shit, get out of here, because I'm trying to breathe. So I just breathed them out. Then I was like, then I relaxed and fell deeper into my pose and just breathe deeply inside the discomfort. And again, that's why I would choose yoga over just, or no, I'm sorry, so not choose, I shouldn't say it. They're two different things, right? So I mean, even today, I was working out, doing just purely physical exercise, like push-ups and stuff, repetitive motions right there. So they're different. Yoga just, yeah, yoga's different. I mean, yoga's amazing. Yoga is how you can, yoga brings more awareness to your body than when you're just exercising. Like that's the entire point of yoga, is to bring some focus to your body so you can actually see what's going on in there. And by just breathing and doing the motions, you'll easily be able to, for one, clear your mind and be able to, again, make it a type of meditative practice if you choose to do so. And then for two, you can surely get a workout. And I guess three, and then three, scan your body. Like doing yoga at least will tell you where in your body that anything is. Like usually yoga is a full body workout, so you'll be able to analyze your whole body and add some calm into your life. There's nothing like it.
Wow. Yeah, I can definitely attest to that just personally, because that's where I find myself doing a lot of my meditations, especially in the morning time. Because since we've, been in a panaderia, I haven't been, I haven't been to anybody's gym as much as I would love to. I would love to be at Gold's Gym, doing deadlifts and, power cleans. I mean, like, the warrior side of my spirit is like, we need to throw things around, like find something and throw it. And I'm like, well, see, here's the thing. That requires you to go to somebody's place and put on a mask on your face and then go do this. And again, this is my own personal view. I'm like, it doesn't make sense to wear a mask and work out at the same time. Because again, that to me, that's restricting your flow of breathing, right? And so with that, it's made me move more into calisthenics, right? And calisthenics, to me, I feel like in order to get the full rail-rounded package of calisthenics, I feel like that's something you have to do outside. And you're in Baltimore and I'm in the DMV, and it is colder than a polar bear's ball sack outside. I'm not. I can't. It's like my body will literally be like, okay, you got a solid 20 minutes out here before like all of this starts to, you know, get numb. Cause like my fingers will literally start going numb at anything below 50 degrees. Like that's not an excuse. It's like real life. And they're like, no, you got about 20 minutes. So what you're doing this 20 minutes, you better figure it out. Like you trying to do sets and things and stuff like that. I don't know if you're going to have to be like the Flash or you're going to have to teleport to different places. Or I don't know how you're going to do this, but you got to find something to do. And so it's like now I've gotten to the point where I've had to make yoga my more of my practice every day. Because like you said, it does give you that full body workout. It does give you that opportunity to, you know, see where that tension lies and stuff, right? But I want to go back to what you were saying, like you did in that hot yoga and you were able to, you know, you had that release in your hip, right? Because my end, you know, I tell my business on this mug all the time, so y'all will deal with it. So me personally right now, I'm experiencing a lot of tightness in my hips. Like it's like I don't care how many forward folds I do. I don't care how many pigeon poses I do. I don't care how many warrior ones, warrior twos I do. My hips every fucking day are tight, and I'm just like, okay, so I don't know what I'm holding in and what I refuse to release, but what would you say to somebody like me who is in this position of like trying to, because I know my hips need to pop. I'll get to a point where I'm doing like the butterfly pose or something like that, and I feel like it's on the precipice to popping, but it won't do it. And I know one of the biggest things you shouldn't do is try to force something, because then that's how you hurt yourself, you know. But like, what do you say to somebody who is like, you know, they feel that tension in specific parts of their body, and they want to release it, but they don't know how to like go about doing it. Like, what do you tell somebody in that position?
Well, I mean, for one, it's often linked to emotional things. So being that, you have to definitely analyze what you know may have been holding on to, and you're still not willing to let go of. Because if you're not willing to let go of something inside your mind, you're not going to let go of inside your body. But it's a that's definitely a case by case as far as when it comes to like, you know, saying what somebody should do for it, because like one of the biggest things, so a lot of times what the body may need is that it may need fluidity and mobility. So with that, that may be somebody that needs it like just some mobility, different exercises there. You may need yin yoga and holding poses for like 3 to 5 minutes with supports or longer. That's one of the best methods to actually elongate the muscle there, because a lot of times the muscle is, you know, kind of collapsing upon each other because it has no space. So by breathing space into it intentionally and actually stretching it out, that's a great one. And you know, maybe not be for you, but you know, for anybody that has that inflammation, which a lot of times will come from diet, fried foods, of course, and even heavy metals too. I suggest anybody with, you know, aches or anything do cleanses, you know, parasite cleanses, do heavy metal cleanses, parasite detoxes. All those things will help to clear out any type of inflammation or stuck stuff in the body. So that will help you as you are still pairing that with your therapy sessions and with your yoga sessions. And yeah.
Okay, I like that, because that reminds me, I still have a unfinished bottle of chlorophyll in my refrigerator that is like, so are you gonna finish this or not? And I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna get around to that at some point in time. And I'm like, it's like literally this much left in the bottle, and it's like, dude, you could be done with that in a week. You just need to do it. And I'm like, yeah, I know, gotta be accountable. I gotta, you know, get on top of it. Like, and even as I said earlier when I opened the show, like I had to log out of Twitter. Like that is a detox in itself. Like, and I think that, you know, that is going to be part of. I just gotta feel. I said this. When did I say this? Today's Friday. I said this maybe Tuesday, I think, where I was like, one, I know I'm coming up on like I gotta take an extended break, and I think I might do that all of like literally next week until this inauguration and everything like blows over. Because I'm like, if I really say I don't give a damn about what they doing downtown, why am I still watching it on Twitter? Like that the numbers don't math. Like the math ain't mathing there. But also I also said that I know I'm gonna have to get back into my spiritual practices, because I found myself getting like very agitated about little things. Like I even found myself in I came back from a hike and was trying to figure out how to get myself back to my house, because I was in Northern Virginia doing a hike. And I was trying to figure out how to get back home to conduct another interview. And I mean, literally, as soon as Google said that it was going to take me 40 minutes to get back to the house, I instantly snapped. I was like, what the fuck is going on in this city? Like, why? Like, why am I going to be on the expressway for 40 minutes? Google's like, hey, there's a crash on 495 that's causing a 5-minute slowdown, only for me to get to where the crash was and there was nothing there. And I was like, I literally like instantly blew up. I was like, what kind of shit went off. And of course, it didn't help that the people on the expressway don't know how to merge. They don't really know how to drive. Like, people are doing well under the speed limit. And I'm like, y'all, that is going to cause more of an accident than you speeding, but go off. But what I realized in that moment, like literally it took me up until I got to the stoplight right before my house. And I was like, and I was like, there's the problem right there. You didn't breathe through none of that. You literally just popped off, and didn't take that time to back up and just like analyze the entire situation, which then led me to today, where I'm like, I actually need to sit down and journal. I need to log out of stuff, because I'm like, I wasn't agitated like this last week before, all of this stuff went down. Like, I wasn't pressed about none of this. I'm like, how did we get here? And I'm like, at what point in time did you stop doomsday scrolling? At what point in time did you stop, caring about all the stuff that's happening around you? And what I ended up writing in my journal is like, that literally led me to, feeling insecurity, literally sitting at that lower self, that lower ego aspect, and maybe lose my connection to the creator and stuff like that. And I'm like, you knew better. And so when you know better, do better. So do better. And I'm like, yep, you're right. Let me fix that. And so now, even with that, I'm like, I have to be more diligent about, taking my cell salts every day, taking my supplements every day, drinking my tea every day, doing my yoga every day, doing the, detox, the cleanses and stuff like that every day. Because again, we are in a very emotionally charged time. And then on top of that, I start back classes next week. I'm like, I can't go into classes with the mindset like that, because then that's how I end up messing myself over. I have nobody else to blame but, me at that point, right? And so I definitely appreciate that advice, definitely, because now even with the yin yoga piece, because I have found myself earlier this week where I literally sat in the pigeon pose for almost 10 minutes, and I literally laid there. I almost fell asleep in it, because I'm like, I didn't realize how tight I was up here in my back to all the way down to all above my knee. And I'm like, yeah, no, I need to sit here for a minute, just let that, and just kind of roll into that and like get every aspect of that stretch. But now that you brought that up of like, still holding in those emotions, and the stuff that I eat, and I'm like, okay, I really don't eat fried foods that much unless I'm cooking breakfast, and the only thing that I fry is like potatoes, but I fry that in olive oil. And I'm like, I'm still frying it. That's a problem. I'm like, because you see that accountability is coming out. You see the math is mathing, and I'm just like, let me kind of switch some things around here, because you're doing more harm than good. But now I kind of want to segue, because you brought up some stuff. You brought up with the detox and stuff like that. So your business, TruClarity Wellness, let's talk about that real quick, right? Because I had to tell y'all, like, some people that know me, y'all know I'm heavy on my smoothie game. I really need Howard to go ahead and send me my refund check. By the time y'all send this, they'll be to send it to me by now. Hopefully I got a stimulus package on top of that. But my blender broke while I was still in Memphis, but I used to be heavy on my smoothie game. I mean, like every day I'm heavy on that mug. I'm throwing everything that you can think of in there. And, you know, what I would have spent at Smoothie King or at Tropical Smoothie Cafe, I've made that, you know, that has lasted me for a week at this point, right? But you were actually the person that really got me into juicing. I don't know if I've ever told you that, but you got me into juicing when you were posting on Twitter I think it was like a 7 chakra kind of juice thing that you did. And I was like, okay, wait a minute. I need to be taking notes. Like, you put strawberries and peppers in that, and then you put, what is that? Is that a blueberry and okay, well, I don't know I don't know what that is, but I'm gonna go find it. Sprouts got it. They got it. I'm gonna find it. But you got me into juicing like really heavily. So like my first question with that, right, is first and foremost, what is TruClarity Wellness, and like, you know, what all do you do with that? How did that get started? And then I want to go into the juicing aspect, because now I really got when the stimmy dropped, I've already like put it in the shopping cart, so that way I can be like, go ahead and send it to me now, because I need that. I need to get back on my juicing, because I know that was something that was helping with that detox, right? I know I just threw a lot on you, so let's go back. What is TruClarity Wellness? How do we get into it? What is all of that? And then we'll get into juicing later.
Yeah, so TruClarity Wellness is again a wellness company that's designed to help people reach their goals in optimal wellness fashion. So we work with different corporations, different businesses, bring some wellness techniques and experiences to the employees so that they can replicate those, thus having better success in their business. So we work with those, and I also do private clients. So with the private clients, it's the same way. A lot of them will be assigned a true pal, which is just me for right now. The true pal is their person who keeps them accountable on their goals. So again, in a similar way that we do for corporations and businesses, that we'll do an evaluation, and we'll see again what every level is at right now, and we'll again take the accountability that okay, and the awareness that we need to make this better. So we identify the pain points, we identify what any type of blockages are, and we start from there. So again, with having the meditation plans down, and then the diet plans that we write out with a group we partner with, and really it's a balance of things. Like especially as an individual, it's important that you have good financial literacy. So we have partners for that who we can assign to you. And again, even if you don't have to take that service, your true pal can still keep you accountable for your goals. Because a lot of times what we found is that in general, there's a lot of information out there. There's a lot of information out there, and there's a lot of ways to go. So again, what TruClarity does is that it really finds what works for you. It finds what works for you, and then you repeat that thing over and over until you're able to optimize that. So again, a lot of times it may just be that you need somebody keeping you accountable for saving money. You might need somebody other than your family or friend to tell you, hey, this week do this week do this, or how have you done this? Because then you'll have to face up, to that person. So, having somebody outside of your family or friends to keep you accountable for your goals is important. I mean, whether you're looking to lose weight, or you're looking to find more of a sense of peace, all these things are practices. So all these things are practices that I personally have proficiency in leading people through. And then on the second part is that we keep you accountable for it. So TruClarity Wellness is really just unfolding your lotus flower to finding the real core you, so you can go from there.
Wow, yeah, I think a lot of people that's a good service. That's y'all tap into that, because again, we support Black business around here. Get your life together. Again, as I told y'all before, if you don't support Black business, go ahead, finish watching this episode, and then don't come back, because you can't be around here if you don't support Black business. It's just we got to do better with that. But that's dope that you had that, because I don't think a lot of people. I think that's what ends up throwing people off of their goals and stuff like that, like their budgeting goals, or their weight loss goals, or their fitness goals, or whatever goals that they may have in general. They need that accountability partner to essentially keep them accountable, you know, like to keep them going and to keep them pushing with what they have set out to do. Because I mean, with everything that people have going on, you know, with us being in, you know, the time space that we are in now, and you know, you have you're contending with what's going on in the world, and then you contend with what's going on in your family, and you contend with what's going on at your job, and you contend with what's going on with it. Like you end up neglecting the very most important thing, which is self. Because if there's no self, there's like none of the rest of this stuff literally matters, right? But it's dope that you have that, and especially in the different facets and aspects that you do have it, because I think that is necessary for people to have. I definitely know for me, when I was getting into, you know, my fitness journey or my, you know, wellness journey overall, what has kept me consistent with, you know, doing things is because I had accountability partners. It's because I had somebody that's like, hey, did you get up and go take your meds today? And I'm like, yeah, I probably should go do that, huh? Yeah, you should. Yeah, let me go do that. Or, you know, hey, did you go to therapy today? Did you do your homework from therapy? Did you, you know, did you clean up today? What did you do today? And when even just somebody asking those questions, you know, just for me in general, just when somebody asks me those questions, it's like, oh shit, I have been slacking. Let me go fix that ASAP, you know. But that's dope that you have that, and I think that's a definitely necessary and needed service for a lot of people. So, you know, y'all, of course, y'all know I'm gonna put the stuff down in the description box below and all that great jazz. Go support and get your life together. Because again, y'all keep talking about every single year you want to get your life together. Let's actually put some work behind it. Let's actually make some shit happen. Because again, faith without work is always dead. What Kendrick Lamar say? Shit don't change till you get up and wash your ass. Okay. Like, we don't care if you use Cottonelle or you use baby wipes, but you do what you gotta do. Shit don't change till you get up and wash your ass. You gotta make it happen. So now let's get to talk about this juicing though, because you brought up the idea of detoxing, and that's kind of what, when I saw you posting it, and then I kind of did my own research, and I realized that juicing is definitely one of the best ways to do a detox, right? Like, what does that practice look like for you, and how did you get into doing that? Because and also side note, I do need the recipes though, by the way. So when my juicer does come in, I can go ahead and go to the market up here across the street and get what I need so I can get myself together. So how did you get into that, and like, you know, why juicing? You know, because I know a lot of people, like, there's the great divide between juicing and doing smoothies, which I'm like, I mean, both are fruit, you know. Both are gonna help you get to where you need to go. Both are gonna get mucus and all the other great stuff out your body. Like, just do it. But why specifically juicing for you though?
So yeah, so juicing is a little different from smoothies, only in the fact that like you're actually extracting only the juice from it and you're leaving out all the other heavy components. So when you're focusing that type of juice, like even when, if you're doing it for ginger, like it probably even better to take a shot of ginger than just eat a thing of ginger, because with smoothies, again, it's the weight to it. When you do add the weight to it, it does sometimes take away from like the actual, you know, what's inside of it. But in general though, I think I saw it on social media somewhere. I saw juicing, and I saw the health benefits of, you know, how that could help with a detox. Trying to think. Yeah. I mean, I saw it from online somewhere, and then I tried it myself about 3 years ago. I'll say now about 3.5 years ago, and I just saw the benefits of it. You know, each juice and everything will have its different characteristics. You know, like celery for, you know, pure detox. You add some type of a pineapple is gonna be good for the lungs. You're gonna have like your red smoothies, good for your grounding. So there's like there's different types of smoothies, different type of juices and recipes that are just coordinated to affect a certain part of your body, affect a certain part of your wellness. Like so even like cucumber is a great one for energy. Like you want to do cucumber watermelon, something like that. That's a great one for energy and vitality in the rising. So yeah, I love juices. I love smoothies. I love juices. I love smoothies, and they definitely help with detoxes because you're having so even with that, right? On detox, a lot of detox are fast. You're not going to want to eat a lot, so juice is very light. So juice will help you to not starve, but still be light enough to help the medicine or the herbs you're taking to really pass through your body correctly, or just again allow the water that you're drinking with the juice to pass through your body easier. So yeah, juice is really good for detox and flushing.
That's dope. Yeah. Oh God, I can't wait till I get my blender and my juicer back because I miss doing that so much. Like, because I can tell from personal experience how much, first and foremost, drinking smoothies, just like I used to make them right before I would go to work in the morning. And that would carry me to lunch. That would be breakfast and would carry me to lunch. But I would put so much different stuff in mine that my energy is like I'm bouncing off the walls, even if I've only had 4 hours of sleep that night, which I never recommend for anybody. And then going in front of a classroom full of children and trying to teach, I never recommend that to anybody because that is, woo child. Y'all think that y'all learn quickly how hard it is to be an educated in 2020. Some of y'all learn. Imagine having to do that not just for your child, but 149 other children as well. Like, it's not a fun day for anybody. But I definitely I noticed a lot, not only just my energy going up, but um, but I've also noticed like how like my digestion has been a lot better, like my focus had become a lot better, my anytime I would go to the gym, like even though I didn't take like the whey protein because that would I think I'm a brand of lactose intolerant that's just like whey protein will take me down. Like it just goes through my body. It doesn't like even take in the form of like muscle. It doesn't even muscle build for me. But like when I would do my smoothies, I would put oatmeal and peanut butter in there, like a whole tablespoon of peanut butter, and like pour until the ancestors say stop with the oatmeal, and that would I mean, like I would be honest, like I probably was in the best shape of my life. Like, and even though I would be in my states of anxiety and depression, what I would put in there would allow me to, chill and calm down. Cause it was also like most of my smoothies they would be frozen. And so as the day would go on, it would thaw out. So trying to drink something cold while I'm bouncing off the walls, it's that moment of, let's breathe because you can't swallow this if you going off at the same time. Like that's how you choke and die, and that's not what we're trying to do. But even with the juicing aspect of it, like I've even noticed myself like when I would do fasting and do juicing, right? Like I mean, it made fasting a lot more feasible for me to do because as someone that already doesn't eat as much but has a very fast metabolism, like that's not something that coincides. Like I would be ready to fall out or then be wondering why I'm agitated. 9 times out of 10 that's probably why it's because I haven't eaten. But with that, like that juicing it makes it a lot more easier, and you can tell when your body is not full of those toxins, and when the juice has done its duty and due diligence. It's just like all the stuff that you used to be pissed off about. It's like, why was I mad about that again? Because I had something that's in my system that shouldn't have been there in the first place. Like, and I don't think people thoroughly realized that. They looked at Dr. Sebi like he was crazy when he was saying it. It's like, nah, until you actually try it, you won't know that this man was actually spot on with what he was talking about, like spot on. So, but I definitely, I definitely can attest to, the differences between, drinking smoothies and as far as like the heaviness aspect of whereas the juiciness lightness piece, which is like, I'm like, I seriously have to get back on it. Like, anybody want to give me a juicer? Like, give me not the one that spin around fast. Like, give me the one that crush up the fruit because I heard that one's better for you anyway. Like, give me one of them good ones. Like, so I can get out here and make it do what it do. But my question is like, do you sell the juices for people to get, or is it just for you and your personal consumption? Like, or because I feel like I feel like a lot of people would get more into juicing if either A, they knew somebody that was making it, or B, if they had like the education around them to make it.
So yeah, currently I just make them just for me and mine, just for like my household. I mean, I will consider selling them if people, you know, if there was demand in the area for it, and if I, you know, feel like starting a juicing company. But I mean, I always encourage everybody to try their own anyways, and you know, preferably find a black-owned company in your area if they have that. But yeah, no, currently I just do it for me. But if you think of starting a juicing company, start one, because there's plenty of area for you.
That's true. And I feel like, I mean, I personally feel like that the world is slowly starting to migrate more into a plant-based type deal. Anytime Burger King and McDonald's want to sell the Beyond Burger, you just kind of got to, first of all, be cautious of that. But two, just recognize where things are going. Like, come on now, y'all. Like, pay attention to your surroundings. It'll tell you a lot about where we're going. But yeah, so any last things before we get out of here for today? Say thank you so much for coming through and sharing your wisdom and your knowledge with the people. Any last comments, questions, concerns, cries of outrage for the good of the order before we get up out of here for today?
Nah, I mean, thank you for having me, C. Pleasure to be on today. It was an enlightening and radiant conversation. Nah, I mean, you know, good talk today. Hope everybody got something from this. You know, follow me. Twitter, Ed the Yoke. I'm sorry. Twitter is Real Malcolm Ed, RealMalComed. It's going to be in the description.
Yep.
Instagram is going to be Ed the Yogi, EDDAYOGI, Ed the Yogi. TruClarity Wellness, TRU with no E, TruClarityWellness.com is where to find me at, and book me for any group or personal lessons or programs. And follow me. Let's interact, and we out here.
Y'all, there's somebody that y'all want to get in contact with, because he had me doing a yoga session last week. When I tell y'all, I felt great, but I was like, "Woo, you tried to kill me." But it was a great session. Like, it was great camaraderie with the people. The community was amazing, and I mean, we were in there for what, an hour and some change, and I'm like, my own personal yoga practices don't even last that long, but even with the stuff that you had us doing, it's like when I got through with that, I'm like, I got enough energy. I feel like I can go run around the block now. Like, I felt like getting up and going to do more, and I'm like, no, I'm gonna go sit down, and I'm gonna just go. I'm relishing this energy. Like, let me just sit down in this, because I'm like, it's not often that I feel like this, like just off of doing a workout, you know, and I love those feelings when you can like just sit and just be afterwards. And I'm like, let me just sit and be. But I'm like, nah, I also still want to put on these running shoes and go run outside, even though it is like all of 25 degrees outside, which I'm like, no. So, but no, thank you so much for coming through, man. I greatly appreciate this. And if there's nothing else, y'all know where to find me. I ain't going nowhere. We in a Panasonic. Like, where am I going? Where am I going? Like, we're going nowhere. Like, but also, I just thought about it. This will actually be the mid-season finale. I don't know why I didn't say that from Jump Street, but yeah, this will be the mid-season finale. We're gonna take a break because I still got a doctoral program that I forgot that I was in that I gotta start back. So yeah, we'll be back probably after spring break, or maybe towards when classes in. I don't know, but you know, y'all got enough stuff to watch. You got a whole season 1, and you got like literally 8 episodes to go enjoy here. If you ain't seen all of them, and I know for a fact you ain't seen all of them. And if you have, go watch them again, because I can always use the views and the likes and all the subscribes and all that great stuff. And if you haven't done any of those things, make sure you do so. Send this to somebody that you think will be that will find it beneficial, because each one teach one. We all gotta grow. We all trying to build. We all trying to make a way out of no way. Be like Jesus and make a way out of no way. But until next time, y'all be great, and I holla.
Baby girl.